Coming up on 5 Minute News. Donald Trump acquitted in second impeachment trial. White House has deep concerns over China role in COVID-19 report. And dozens hurt by huge blaze close to Iran-Afghanistan border. It's Sunday, February 14. I'm Anthony Davis. Former President Donald Trump was acquitted on Saturday of inciting the horrific attack on the U.S. Capitol, concluding an historic impeachment trial that spared him the first ever conviction of a current or former U.S. president, but exposed the fragility of America's democratic traditions and left a divided nation to come to terms with the violence sparked by his defeated presidency. Barely a month since the deadly January 6th riot that stunned the world, the Senate convened for a rare weekend session to deliver its verdict, voting while armed National Guard troops continued to stand their posts outside the iconic building. The quick trial, the nation's first of a former president, showed in raw and emotional detail how perilously close the invaders had come to destroying the nation's deep tradition of a peaceful transfer of presidential power after Trump had refused to concede the election. The verdict, on a vote of 57-43, is all but certain to influence not only the former president's political future, but that of the senators sworn to deliver impartial justice as jurors. 7 Republicans joined all Democrats to convict, but it was far from the 2/3 threshold required. The outcome after the uprising leaves unresolved the nation's wrenching divisions over Trump's brand of extremist right-wing politics that led to the most violent domestic attack on one of America's 3 branches of government. Trump, unrepentant, welcomed his second impeachment acquittal and said his movement has only just begun. In a speech on Saturday from the Senate floor, Republican Minority Leader Mitch McConnell delivered a scalding denunciation of Donald Trump, calling him morally responsible for the January 6 attack on the Capitol. But in his vote on Trump's impeachment, McConnell said not guilty because he claimed a former president could not face trial in the Senate. The White House on Saturday called on China to make available data from the earliest days of the COVID-19 outbreak, saying it had deep concerns about the way the findings of the World Health Organization's COVID-19 report were communicated. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said in a statement it was imperative that the report be independent and free from alteration by the Chinese government, echoing concerns raised by the administration of Donald Trump, who moved to quit the WHO over the issue. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus on Friday said all hypotheses are still open about the origins of COVID-19 after Washington said it wanted to review data from a WHO-led mission to China where the virus first emerged. The WHO-led mission, which spent 4 weeks in China looking into the origins of the outbreak, said this week that it was not looking further into the question of whether the virus escaped from a lab, which is considered highly unlikely. The Wall Street Journal, citing unnamed WHO investigators, reported on Friday that China had refused to give the WHO raw, personalized data on its early COVID-19 cases that could help determine how and when the virus first spread in China. At least 60 people were injured as hundreds of fuel vehicles exploded in a massive blaze that tore through a customs post in Afghanistan, close to the Iranian border, disrupting power supplies and causing millions of dollars of damage. The 2 explosions at the border crossing were powerful enough to be spotted from space by NASA satellites. One blast erupted around 1:10 p.m. Afghan time, the next around a half an hour later at 1:42 p.m. Iranian authorities sent fire engines and ambulances across the border, while scores of locals fought the blaze in the border town of Islam Kala, before it was brought under control. Initial reports said the blaze had started after a gas tanker exploded. Officials said later that the cause was not immediately clear. Wahid Khatali, governor of the western province of Herat, said Iranian authorities and NATO-led personnel in Afghanistan were asked for assistance to help contain the fire, which damaged electricity infrastructure, leaving much of Herat's capital city without power. Thick plumes of black smoke and flames rose into the air around the scene. Late on Saturday, Iran's state news agency quoted Jilani Farhad, a spokesman for Herat's governor, as saying the fire was brought under control, but that around 500 vehicles had been burned. A Western official monitoring the situation said at least 60 people had been injured. Afghan officials gave a lower casualty toll, but said that number could rise. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.